Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Fall camp is here. It's football time in Tennessee. We're less than a month away from kicking things off for year 4 of the Josh Heupel era. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited, but Tennessee's also been on a tear on the recruiting trail. We've been covering it all right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, going back to Travis Smith on July the 13th. Christian Gass makes it official. Shady Hayward, Deshaun Brain flips from Oregon to Tennessee. You added Darian Smith, a 3-star defensive lineman. Tennessee has been on a roll on the recruiting trail, but they're not done yet. And again, it continues tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time is the ceremony for 4-star offensive lineman Juan Gaston. We're going to go live probably 6:15, 6:30, take you all the way up to that decision. He's going to choose between Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, and Oregon. And the national media, the national perception is that he is going to choose Georgia. He's 6'7", 360 pounds. He's out of the state of Georgia. But we've seen Tennessee going into that state in pulling kids back to Rocky Top. We mentioned it earlier, Travis Smith, Christian Gass, Shady Hayward, all those guys were out of the state of Georgia. Tennessee has the best chance to pull Juan Gaston out of the state. That's kind of been the narrative that VolQuest has put out there, but at the same time, Juan Gaston, very quiet, plays his cards close to the vest. A lot of people don't know where this decision is going to go. I think it is worth covering tonight. It would be absolutely huge when you look at offensive line recruiting and what Glenn Ellaby and Josh Heupel have been able to do in this cycle, but we will be going live tonight with that decision from Juan Gaston. Also coming up tomorrow, Faison Brandon, Josh Petty on August the 12th, Onis Conan Bandy right around the corner from a decision, and then the big one, David Sanders on August the 17th. But tune in tonight, again, 6:15, 6:30, we'll go live. We'll talk all about Juan Gaston, but I want to kind of change gears, and some of you guys may say, why are we talking about this? Class of 2026. We're going to get into it. I'm going to tell you why, but as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Just smash the thumbs up real quick, just below the video. It does help the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you. This channel, you guys already know, it's for the fans, by the fans. If we see a message board rumor or something floating around, we're going to speculate on it. That's what fans do. We're going to react emotionally. That's what fans do. So if you like what we do around here, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Again, busy week ahead of us, starting tonight with Juan Gaston. Tomorrow, we're going to cover the live commitment of Faison Brandon. That's why we're kind of going to go into the class of 2026 here. So make sure you're dialed in, tuned in. But let's go there with Faison Brandon. And again, why are we talking about the class of 2026, Boogie? We still got to lock down this class of 25. Well, you're always recruiting. You're always looking ahead, and it always starts with the quarterback position. And, you know, we talk a lot about on this channel peer recruiting, right? We saw what Nico was able to do, and I think we're still seeing the impact of Nico committing to Tennessee. I think that's going to continue throughout this 2024 season when they see what he can do on the field. I think his impact on this rebuild at the University of Tennessee is huge, and I don't think we have the overall picture quite yet. But Faison Brandon, 5-star quarterback, the #1 overall player in the class of 2026. So you went and got Nico, who is the #1 overall player in the class. Now you're dialed in on Faison Brandon, the #1 player in the class of 2026. He is set to come off the board tomorrow. His decision's coming at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, we're going to go live right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network at 2:15 p.m. Eastern time. Now, Tennessee seems to be the front runner here. He's 6'3". He's 195 pounds out of Greensboro, North Carolina. You may remember Hendo Cinco, also out of Greensboro, North Carolina. They've got a great relationship, and I think that plays a part here. As a junior last year, Faison Brandon had 3,026 yards through the air, 36 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, also ran the football for 528 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. He's Tennessee's #1 target at the quarterback position since Nico, and that includes Jake Merklinger. That includes George McIntyre at the quarterback position. Any other quarterback target out there, Brandon was always the one. He was always the guy at the top. He was always the guy that this coaching staff wanted to run their offense. So he is a huge priority for Tennessee. What he said about the Vols, he said the thing about Tennessee is the relationships I have from the top, from Coach Hype to Coach Halsey and everybody else, even on the defensive side of the ball, it's great relationships all around. Now, some of you be saying, well, where's he going? It says LSU, Alabama, NC State, Tennessee. The crystal balls are already there, from the NC State insiders all the way up to Tom Loy, a national analyst over at 247 Sports. Chad Simmons and Steve Wiltfong have already logged their expert predictions. So I think at this point, it is a spoiler alert. Faison Brandon is trending to the good guys. And the reason I want to talk about the class of 26 is because it is huge. What did we see this past weekend, right? Huge recruiting weekend. Faison Brandon was here, but George McIntyre was also here, and they were peer recruiting George McIntyre. They were peer recruiting Shady Hayward. We peer recruiting David Sanders. We've seen George come in town anytime he has that possibility or that opening to get back to Rocky Top and peer recruit. He has done it. We saw Nico do the same thing. You get your quarterback in the boat early. It is huge as you move forward for peer recruiting. Now, we talk about peer recruiting. Faison Brandon scheduled to come off the board tomorrow. I think it's all Tennessee. I think we're going to be celebrating another elite quarterback. I don't think we're ever going to have a problem recruiting quarterbacks while Josh Heupel is the head guy at the University of Tennessee. But that also leads me to this. Another guy that was in town this past weekend, that is Carson Sneed. He's a four-star tight end out of Nashville, Tennessee, 6'6", 215 pounds. And you can see there on the screen, he took to Twitter earlier this week. He said, "Finding my home on August the 5th. That's 3 days from now. That's 2 days after. 2 days after the number one quarterback in the class of 2026 comes off the board. Carson Sneed says, "I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger." Again, a four-star tight end out of the state of Tennessee, in-state kid. Talk about putting up those walls, keeping your good elite talent home. He's going to choose between Tennessee, Auburn, Ole Miss, Ohio State, and Louisville. He was in town this past weekend as well. There was so much buzz on Rocky Top this past weekend when Shady Hayward committed. Deshaun Brain flipped. George McIntyre was here. Faison Brandon was here. David Sanders was here. There was so much buzz on Rocky Top this past weekend, and Carson Sneed was here to soak all that in. Coming off the visit, Chad Simmons of On3.com put out an update. He said the buzz around 2026 tight end Carson Sneed picked up over the weekend. Tennessee has always been a school high on his list, but the Vols may have created some separation at the top as he enters his junior season. He trimmed his list earlier in the summer to 5 schools, and he could possibly make an early decision. So just a few days later, after that update came out, Sneed puts out the tweet. He's ready to make a decision. So he came on Rocky Top when there was so much buzz, so much energy, and Tennessee was already, I don't know if I want to use the word trending, but they were already kind of trending there for Carson Sneed. They were the team out front. They were always out front. You see the On3 recruiting prediction machine. Is it always accurate? No, but sometimes it tells a story. Tennessee at 96.2%. So Tennessee was already trending to going into the weekend. He comes off the visit with George and Faison and David Sanders and Shady and all the guys that were here. He comes out of that weekend. He says, "Enough's enough. I'm ready. I know where I'm going." He sets the commitment date. Steve Wiltfong logged a crystal ball prediction back in June of last year. So again, Tennessee has kind of been the front runner for quite some time, but he carried that over to On3 and made it official there about a week ago. Is that a spoiler alert? Is that a spoiler alert? Again, Carson Sneed, 4-star prospect, ranked inside the top 200. Again, he's going into his junior season, so a lot can change there ranking-wise. But Faison Brandon set to come off the board tomorrow, the number one player in the country for the class of 2026. And then you move ahead just a couple of days later, a guy inside the top 200 is ready to pull the trigger, and the Vols are the team to beat. The Vols are the team that is trending, and I've talked so much about how important this 2024 season is on the field, off the field. I think if you go see what Nico can do in this team, if you missed the video yesterday, go give it a watch. JD Piquel making some great points talking about this 2024 season. I think Nico is him. I think we go win 10 games. I think we're looking at a college football playoff berth. And then I think the recruiting is only going to continue to grow. We've seen it this cycle, man. This cycle was something different. This cycle, you cast this wide net and you are recruiting elite talent. The guys you missed on, the guys that were further down your board were elite talent, and that's why Tennessee currently sitting just outside the top 5. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see if they land Juan Gaston later tonight. We'll see if they land David Sanders. Has got a lot of work to do. Possibly flip some guys if you go have success on the field in 2024. But I think this foundation for the class of 2026 is huge. Adding Faison Brandon, adding Carson Sneed, and then on top of that, you just look at the tight end room. Ethan Davis is young. You got Jack Van Dorsayer. You flip Deshaun Brame. That's huge. You add Carson Snead into the boat. Tennessee in it for another elite tight end in that class of 2026. But this lays the foundation. Now we go take care of business on the field, and we are off to the races. And people are starting to worry. People are starting to be scared. People are starting to recognize that Tennessee is back. What do you guys think? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Am I crazy for talking about the class of 2026? I don't think so. When we're talking about the #1 overall player, and we're also talking about a top 200 prospect in Carson Snead. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link's in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. If you're not a member, you want to support what we do, you like the fact that we have the availability to jump on here and make videos every single day talking all things Tennessee football, we need your support. Hit that join button. It's just $1 a month. We would greatly appreciate it. The fan call-in shows are firing back up on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Talkin VAWLS Elite and higher get the link first. They get to come on, hang out, run the show. It's for the fans, by the fans, means something around here. But that is going to do it for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.